Yeah, our other video did not want to play this morning.
It didn't.
No,
That's all right.
it was like you got to take it back old school.
Take it back to the old school.
Throw back with a one time. Throw back with two times.
That's all right. That's all right. We're gonna still keep moving.
Yes, we are. Let's see here. Good morning, Grand Risings.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Tips and Tea Tuesday. Let's turn these comments on.
Let's see. We'll see. How was your night?
It was decent. It was decent. I can't complain. I was packing, so getting some things done.
Yes, for those who don't know, Miss C Booker is moving to West Virginia.
Moving to West Bod,
Yes.
Virginia.
Yeah, that's where the blessings are.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's a new chapter. I just feel like great things are really coming your way. I can feel
Hey, Queen. You know what? I receive it. I receive it. I receive it. Because I am definitely looking forward to this new chapter. I never thought I would go back to West Virginia, but never say never.
that is true. I mean, there's a reason for everything. There's some things that have to be done. And then, I feel like some elevation is going to happen with you going back there because you're also going to have the support system behind you
Oh,
to do what you need to do.
yes, definitely, definitely. I mean, hope and pray that there's going to be some good collaborations coming here in the future.
Absolutely. Oh, good morning, hubby.
Good morning, Aziz. Happy Tuesday.
Aziz Shabazz is in the chat. I appreciate you, sir. He is first one in.
First one in and probably last out.
Oh,
Steve
good
in the
morning.
building. Good morning, Steve.
Yeah, good morning, Steve. One of the boss kings is in the building.
Yes,
Good
yes,
morning, good
yes, yes.
morning.
Doing big things out in Illinois.
Good
But
morning,
we got
Quatasia. We see you, Queen. Good morning.
good morning, good morning. We got Roselle building, Bossy Mitchell. Good morning, Kings and Queens. Happy Tips and Tea Tuesday.
Yes, yes. Happy Tips and Tea Tuesday, everybody. Yeah, we were running a little behind this morning. Restream would just not let us be great this morning. It did not want us to
It
play our video.
didn't want me to lie count, but it's all good.
And say we were delayed, but we were not denied.
Amen. Amen to that, sis.
Yes. Good morning, Carmen.
Good morning. Good morning.
I'm gonna drop some eyeballs in on her later. I think we got some things we gotta go over.
Oh, okay.
Good morning, Kier. Yes, yes. So Grand Risings, everybody. I think we should go ahead and kick this thing off because we were a little delayed this morning, so we're a little behind schedule. So I'm just gonna jump right in. You ready, C?
Yes, Queen, I'm ready. Let's
You
get
ever
it.
feel like you be in that Beyonce and Jay-Z video and he'd be like, "You ready, B?"
Yes. I'm ready.
Oh, good morning, everybody. Good morning, kings and queens. And we just want
Yes.
to welcome you into another powerful live here at Tips and Tea. I'm Shantella, and just want to thank you all for joining us. And I'm definitely here with my beautiful co-host, Mr. Teacher Booker. Hey, C.
Good morning, everyone. Happy to be here this morning. And family, we definitely know that life's sometimes, but we are definitely here to remind you that even in uncertain times, that your confidence and your faith are going to carry you through. So grab you some tea or some coffee, whatever you need to get your morning started. And, grab a notebook because we are getting ready to have an awesome conversation. And it's all about walking into confidence and bouncing back with grace and grit. Okay. We are bouncing back this morning.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's jump into our audience too here a little bit before we get started. You all, where are you tuning in from? Drop your city in the
Yeah.
chat here. Thank you for jumping into Tips and Tea Live. I know last week we talked about some really big topic, right? We was talking about money and relationships.
Yes. Money and relationships. And that is
Right?
really a subject at times. But we
It
definitely
definitely
hit
is.
some
So
good points last week, though, about being transparent, being upfront, having conversations, different things like that. So that way it doesn't seem like a taboo subject or a subject we can't talk about.
hmm yeah, don't forget setting those boundaries as
Yes.
well. Utilizing my favorite word, no.
Your
I've
favorite
been
word. That's your new
practicing.
favorite word. No.
That was my new favorite word. Before, I was definitely a people pleaser. I'm not gonna lie. So I had to learn the word no and really embrace my no and don't feel bad about it, right? I was feeling like
Yes.
heavy guilt whenever I would say no and then trying to figure a way around my no. It's kind of do stuff anyway. But I worked on it. It took me almost a year to really enjoy saying no.
I mean, we all get in people pleasing mode at times, but you do have to protect your peace. And sometimes saying no is not a bad thing.
That is true. Because when you take on too much, what are you also taking away from for yourself, for your
Yeah.
family, for your
Yeah.
business, right? So you have to think about the overall big picture in a lot of cases. So if you didn't get a chance to tune in last week, definitely feel free to go on either one of our pages. I believe it's still on our Facebooks, or you can definitely check us out on YouTube at Tips and Tea Live on
Mhm.
YouTube. A lot of our past streams are definitely there for you to take a look at. So yeah, check us out if you get a chance. But just diving back into today's topic here, you know, again, is learning that unshakable confidence, right? And for me, confidence isn't definitely about pretending things are perfect. Nothing is perfect, right? And when you actually learn that perfection is just a made up thing that we're all trying to strive for, and I don't understand where that even came from. You know, once you realize that, it's more so about trusting yourself, right? And that you can handle whatever is coming your way.
Yes, ma'am.
I feel like that's way better than trying to be perfect any day.
I definitely agree with you on that. I mean,
Mhm.
just knowing that things are going to be okay. And I went out to eat with a couple of friends this weekend, and we were all talking about, different situations. And she was saying that she was in a situation that she didn't really, it wasn't a good situation, but she knew that she was going to get through it. And she said that every time she started feeling down on herself, she would just say, 1, 2, 3, temporary, to remind herself that she is going to come out of this. So shout out to Danielle, because I'm definitely going to be using that 1, 2, 3, temporary.
I
Because
love it.
it may seem that things aren't going to change or you got a long road ahead of you, but everything happens for a reason, and it's just for a season. It's not your eternal outlook. Your things will change, things will get better. So just keep that in mind. Things are temporary.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything is temporary. Tomorrow is definitely a new day. And when you think about things, you look at fear and you look at faith, and they can't really occupy the same space, right? They can't sit in the same room together. You
Right.
literally have to choose. Either you're going to get over the fear and choose to lean into faith, or you're going to embrace that fear and hold on to that and let it keep you still, right? And that's one of the things I had to work on for myself, whether it was like moving into a new position, moving to a new city or country. There's different things that can definitely hold you back. And then sometimes you wonder, right, when does intuition kick in, right?
Mhm.
And I look at intuition as faith, right? I feel like my intuition is, I'm letting God speak to me, right? But fear sets in, you question everything. There's anxiousness behind it. The intuition, if you lean into that, is usually calm, right? The thought, the goal, the dream came from the intuition, but the fear starts to question it. So sometimes you just have to silence that, right? You have to just be like, no, that's just me trying to self sabotage
Yes.
and everything, right? So you got to make that choice. Which one do you want to choose? And you can't toe the line because now you're definitely not moving in any direction when
Right.
you just in between the decision. So sometimes you got to step out on faith and let it happen. I mean, when we decided to make that move to Mexico, I was definitely scared, right? This is a whole other country. We've traveled here a few times, on vacation, but vacation is way different than living somewhere,
Yes,
right?
it
Am I
is.
going to be able to walk away from my family, like my support system, even though they were still a couple hours away? My brother was really about 10 minutes from my house, but they were there, right?
Mhm.
Something major really happened where we needed them. They were still close enough where they can all be there, in a short amount of time. So moving here, people speak a different language, especially what's going on in our government with the whole ICE thing and
Oh, yes.
deportations. Are they going to accept us here with what America is doing to their people? So it's just a lot of things that you think about,
Mhm.
right? But the peace came when we made the decision that we wanted to move here. All the questions I started having was the fear. And I'm
Yes.
like, well, if God didn't put it on my husband's heart to say, okay, let's go to Mexico, and I trust him, right? And I trust that he's not going to lead us in the wrong direction because he's listening, he's sure, right? So
Mhm.
I had to let that go. Definitely had to let that go.
But that's all just a part of being human too. Anytime there's something new or something different, those feelings of fear do come up, but we just have to know that it's just a feeling, and it's something
Mhm.
that you're going to get over. It's something you're going to get through. Confidence can show up in your actions, even though you might be scared, even though you might be nervous as heck. Just the fact that you're showing up, that's creating growth, and that's creating change in you. You're putting yourself in a better situation because you're getting your comfort zone. There's no change in the comfort zone. You have to step out, and part of that is being confident, and that's one of the things that I'm working on, because I'm not gonna lie, when we first started doing these lives, I would shake like a leaf on a tree, and sometimes I still get nervous. I don't know why, but it's just because this is something that's outside of my comfort zone. I don't like being the center of attention or having to, talk to a group of people. But again, I'm doing something to get me in my comfort zone that's creating and building up confidence and helping me to be able to speak to people. So it's all about choices and, just like Shin said, choosing faith over fear. Because God's not going to bring you to a situation unless you are ready for it. He's not going to put you in anything or give you an idea if you're not ready for it.
Yeah, because even if you don't feel like you're ready for it, I also feel like the he's going to surround you with support, right? So you don't have to know everything, right? And you don't need to know everything. You can literally lean on the people or the positions that he put you in, the things around you, right? The resources that he's built up for you to also utilize these things to help you in that journey. Right. So everything does not have to fall on you. Everything does not have to be put on your shoulders. So I look
Yeah,
at it that way as well. And sometimes I have to call myself back. We have to reel it back in from the overthinking.
reel it back in. Yes, that part.
How
Yes,
many overthinkers are in the chat?
honey. I overthink the things that I shouldn't overthink and then underthink
Mhm.
things that I should overthink. So I completely get it. I definitely understand it. Just different things can creep up and cause you to just self-doubt, but we just have to know that we have to work on our confidence. We have to rebuild it, And just know that we are fearfully and wonderfully made in the likeness and image of Christ. And He is not going to give us an idea or put us in a situation that we cannot handle. With God, all things are possible. Not some things, all things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, so shout out to all the heavy hitters in the chat today. Good morning, everybody,
Oh,
because we
yeah.
have a bunch of kings and queens here on the Tips and Tea audience chat where each one of these individuals literally stepped out on faith and started something new. They started a business for themselves, right?
Yes.
They put themselves out there on a regular basis with trying to just help people, right? Help people get into better financial situations, help people with building consistency in their lives, building better habits, letting go of things that's hurting them. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
I just gotta give a shout out to the team. I see Nita, Kiera, Carmen in the chat, Freedom, Cassandra, Aziz, Steve, Bossy, so many people, right? Quatasia, I think there's a few other people that I can't see right now, but just shout out to all our leaders here
Yes.
that's showing up all the time, right? Even when we don't feel good, there's definitely been days where we were just not feeling 100%, but still showing up, even
Yes.
coaching people through times where we might not have felt like we knew exactly how to get through some things, right? Going through changes, family members sick, working a lot, trying to take care of our kids, but still trying to show up for other people. I got to give a
Mm-hmm.
shout out to the team because they do it all the time. Hey,
Yes.
Miss Katrina, shout out to you as well, Queen.
Yes. Katrina, good morning, Queen. I definitely love our team because not only is the culture awesome, but it's more of a family atmosphere. And
Mhm.
I just love the way that everyone builds everyone up. You may not see something in yourself, but they may see it in you. And then it helps you to look at things in a different light, like, well, maybe I can do that. So it's always one thing I have been learning recently is just to look at things from different perspectives. Because
Yeah,
you may look at a situation, but then you get another opinion from somebody else, and you're like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, that does make sense.
hmm
So collaboration, talking to people, that's always a good thing. And that helps to build confidence as well, too, because it's connecting you with people and connecting you with information. So building confidence by just learning more information, talking to more people, getting connections.
that's true. That's true. So yeah, I definitely feel you on that one. Well, what was one other moment, see, where you just didn't know how it was gonna work out, but you kept showing up anyway? You wanna share?
Um, sure. I mean, I would say this. And another example I can say was me moving to North Carolina,
Mm,
because that was a situation where I just knew I wanted to leave West Virginia, and I just decided faith over fear. I had never moved away from West Virginia, never lived outside of the state of West Virginia, and I wanted to change. And I'm glad I did move. I really am. I learned a lot of myself. I met some really good people. Um, Joined a really awesome church down here. So I'm definitely glad that I stepped out on faith and I didn't let fear hold me back, because now I'm in a position where I can move back to West Virginia and I'm in a better financial situation than I was when I left.
mhm.
So, that was a situation that I did it nervous, but I chose faith over fear. What do
Absolutely.
Queen? Or you
Ugh.
said Mexico was for you, or do you have another example?
Oh, girl, I've been here for a long time, so I have a mini. I have a mini, mini, mini. I think the first big one for me though, just going way back, was so I started working at this hotel in finance in the accounting department, and I had been in that department for like years. I think I had worked back there for like 4 or 5 years, but it had came to a time where, we got hit with a really big recession back in '08, that big housing crash that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like cutting people's positions. Like they were getting rid of whole positions at the job I was at and cutting people's hours and asking them to take, use up all their PTO, their paid time off to kind of supplement the budget. So I had asked to, volunteer other departments so they wouldn't get rid of me, right? Make yourself useful in
Right.
other places, become an essential player, right? So I actually started helping out on like the events and catering side
Mm-hmm.
and did that for a while. And then eventually, one of the catering managers that was handling like weddings and a lot of corporate functions, they ended up eliminating her role because the revenue just wasn't coming in. And because I was helping in events and I was still working in accounting at the same time, so I was doing two jobs at one time. They came to me and they were like, we think you'll be really good in catering, catering sales. We
Mm-hmm.
want you to apply for the position because the position had been open for a few weeks. And I didn't even think about it. I didn't even look at it because I'm like, they just fired this lady for not hitting her numbers. I'm not, I'm not going over there. I'm not even going to attempt to even think about that's something that's for me, right? But literally, they came and got me, right? They were like, look, we see you in this position. We're going to help you through this. I was like, well, I'm literally looking at how she didn't hit her numbers because I'm on the back end. I'm in accounting. So I see all
Mm-hmm.
that, right? I know she was on a PIP, but I don't have any sales experience, right? I don't have anything of that nature. I was in accounting. I know
Mm-hmm.
the numbers, but they were like, no, we think you'd be great. You do events, you upsell stuff, you help people, you do things that make sense, you build packages for your clients. You can do this. So sometimes even if you don't see it in yourself, you have to listen to the people that's around you that's screaming at you, right? It's your time, right? So even when I
Yes.
leaned into my own confidence, I was like, okay, well, I need to make this decision. I'm gonna lean into their confidence. They believe in me that much. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do it. But I was definitely like, no. And I went home. I remember talking to Aziz about it. I was like, these people crazy, babe. They want me to go.
And
They
look
want
how it
me to
turned
go
out.
into sales. And I'm like, I don't know anything about catering. I like to eat, that's what I
Right.
know. I know the simple things, but having to build up whole menus and get into that whole formal wedding setting, it's a whole different
Right.
dining experience as well too. So it was a lot I had to learn. But I love the fact that I was able to do that because that also taught me a lot of things that eventually put me here,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I was more independent being in that sales position at that hotel. And I learned so much that eventually when I needed to transition out of corporate, right? I got to see the back end. I got the right operating for these procedures. I got the right SOPs. I got to understand and learn contracts. I got to do more budgeting and forecasting on that end as far as what it was for individual events. So it just taught me so many things that now I take those skills that I learned and now I apply it to what I'm doing now. So sometimes you got to take that leap of faith. You might not understand why it's making sense in that moment, but eventually
Mm-hmm.
you'll get to the part where those things that was planted in you that you were learning, you were growing over time, now you've been built up. Now you see why you had to do that job or do that role or be in
Yes,
that position.
ma'am. Yes,
Absolutely.
but I think it's just amazing how, you know, you may not see something in yourself, but other people can help you see things in yourself.
Hmm.
And that's just great because you didn't think you were capable to do that job, but you did it and you did it well, you know? So, I mean, we just have to believe in ourselves. And when people tell us things, you know, we have to listen because they're telling you for a reason. And life is always going to throw us curveballs. It definitely does that. But we just have to know that being confident doesn't mean that we're not going to go through storms. It just means that we are going to come out and you're going to learn something from it. There's the way life throws you curveballs, how you swing back, that defines you, and that define that. So, and we all have to give ourselves grace, 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 because we are going to make mistakes. We're not perfect. You may have to start over. You may have to go back to the drawing board. You may have to reconfigure things. But the point is to not give up, to be confident in yourself, have that, what they call it, Godfidence, confidence. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Yeah.
confidence.
Yes, yes. We have to be able to know that we're going to make mistakes. So grace is something that we have to give ourselves. God, when you pray, in the Bible, it says God's grace and mercy is new every single day. So if God can give us new grace and new mercy every day, we have to give that to ourselves.
So you can't hide from it because obviously you know you be shining. You don't even know you be shining, and you can't even hide it because other people can see it, right? But eventually they do have to move on and start pouring into somebody else if you refuse to make the decision to move.
Mm.
You know, I had to make the decision to move. Life is like the teacher said, life is going to happen. Life continues to happen and things hit you from all different directions. Even when the recession hit, you know, people were losing their jobs, right? Hours were being cut, wage salaries were being slashed in half. But I made the decision that, okay, I'm not just going to sit here in this familiar space and let them come in and cut my hours. I'm a pray and I'm ask God to help guide me, and He put it on my
Mhm.
heart. Ask for help. Ask of what else. What else can you do to be able to put yourself out there to receive some guidance and some assistance, right? So I put it out there, hey, if you want me to go help out another department where we're short, I'll split my hours between these two. These are two different things, right? And because they see that I took initiative, right? I just didn't sit back and let things happen. That led to other things. They had confidence in me that I can do it because I had confidence in myself, not just to sit there and not say anything.
Gotcha.
Right? We can't be meek all the time.
No, 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 no. I'm
All the
learning
time.
that
So
myself. You got to speak
yes.
up. What they say, the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Mm-hmm. No, we're not gonna hide our gifts in the dirt where they can't
No, ma'am.
grow. No, we're
No.
not. We're not gonna do that. So yes, everybody. Oh, I see some comments in the chat.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Carmen says, yes, that makes a difference when others can see your potential.
Yes,
It
it does. It definitely
does.
does. Let's see. Do
Yeah,
we have
even
any more?
if others don't see it, sometimes you got to see it for yourself, though. You can't lean on others all the time, right? Because
Hmm.
sometimes that's where we get into that people pleasing and we want perfection and we're worried about what other people say. So I'm not saying all that to say that you have to lean on other people. Sometimes you have to lean on God, right?
Hmm.
Sometimes you've been leaning on others too much. And when you do that, sometimes He'll help you clear out the crowds.
Mm, that is true. That is
So you
true.
can lean on Him and He can help you build up that confidence that and realize sometimes you don't need anybody else. The support is great, right? The support is
Yeah.
awesome. But sometimes, even when you come into a season where you've stopped and you've been still, right? And you
Hmm.
don't know how to move forward because you've been listening to so many other people give their opinions to you. When you start leaning on other people's opinions too much, that's when you have to come back to you, right? And you have to come back and you have to rebuild that confidence in yourself and still make the decision because sometimes with me and C know there's gonna be people telling you that you can't do something. Well, why would you want to do that, right? Their own fear is trying to take over your confidence.
Yes, people love to tell you all the time what you can and can't do just because they chose not to or they didn't even try. Don't let
Hmm.
somebody else stop you from doing something that you want to do or something that's on your heart to do. And Chantella Queen, sometimes I think that people don't realize or forget that, grace is also a growth strategy. You know, you don't have to always be down on yourself. You can give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. It's okay that you made a mistake or you didn't do what you were supposed to do, but just next time, make sure you do it better. We need to learn how to forgive ourselves.
Yeah, because you know your past doesn't define you, right? Those are
Yes.
just lessons. You know what defines you is how you come out of it. What's that big word that we all have a hard time pronouncing sometimes? Perseverance. Perseverance.
Pre-
I still can't
Perseverance.
pronounce it.
It's okay. I got you, Queen. Perseverance. I think that's
There
what
you
you're trying
go.
to say.
That P word.
That word that means you're pressing on.
Yeah.
How about that?
Perseverance. I don't know. Some days I can pronounce some words. I think it's still too early in the morning for me. My coffee ain't kicked in yet.
It's
It tastes
okay.
strong, but it ain't hit yet.
But that's
Man,
why we tell you guys every week, keep your faith, keep your
because
focus, and remember, you are stronger than your setback. So there's definitely light at the end of the tunnel. We definitely are going to get through to the other side, guys. That's for sure.
yeah, because you absolutely don't. If you don't have it all figured out, right? That doesn't mean you're not gonna make progress. You're figuring it
Right.
out as you go along. You don't have to have all the answers up front to take that step, right? You just gotta do. It's literally so simple. You just gotta do it. You gotta take the step, right? And it always comes back to like for us, we're our whole thing is we want to help you with your finance situation, right? Putting yourself in a better position for you, your family, your businesses. So, if you're having struggles with credit, if you don't know where to go as far as what's the first step when it comes to buying a house, should
Hmm.
I have a savings plan? All these different things, right? You know, you gotta take that step. You can't you can do your research, right? But eventually you gotta make a move.
Yes, you do have to make a move eventually.
Hmm. Definitely gotta make the move. Let's see. Do we have any questions, guys? I know this is not really a topic where there's a whole lot of questions because we got so many confident kings and queens already in the chat. But
That
if
we
you all
do.
want to have a vulnerable moment and share a time where you were feeling fearful and you still stepped out on faith, definitely feel free to share. Drop that in the chat. Miss Katrina just said the word can't doesn't exist if you have determination. Trina, I love that.
Okay, okay. Dr. Katrina. Yes.
Hmm.
The word can't doesn't exist if you have determination. I know that's right.
Yeah, and back to what C was saying before when she was mentioning grace as a growth strategy,
Mm-hmm.
definitely you gotta give yourself grace because if you don't, you're gonna drain yourself, right?
Yeah.
And you definitely can't pour from that empty cup. So yeah, give it back to Mr. Teacher Bookie. Everybody drop some clapping hands emojis in the chat.
Oh
I
no.
feel like C been dropping gems all morning.
Oh, well, thank you, Queen. But no, that really we're gonna give a shout out to Joyce Meyer for that. That's just the battlefield of the mind. You know what I mean? Because your mind can that mind is powerful. That's why,
Mhm.
when you get saved and things like that, you're supposed to renew your mind. And when those thoughts come in, um, you have something to battle it with, the word of God. Yeah, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made in the likeness and image of Christ. I'm the lender, the lender, not the borrower, the head, not the tail. You have to talk to yourself and tell yourself those things.
Absolutely. So I need
Yes.
to write all those down. Write it all down. What can I do today to be
Let's
more
see.
confident?
Yes, honey. What can we do today to be more confident?
It's funny because I feel like there's definitely times where I feel absolutely confident, right? And then there's other times where I'm just like, can we get somebody else to do it?
Yes, yes, Queen. I can definitely agree with you on that because sometimes I just want to. I don't want to answer that.
Like even with this with tips and tea, right? And when Aziz was like, okay, goal for everyone on the team. You all need to start going live at least once a week. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to do this by myself. So I'm gonna lean into my community and we're gonna do this together. So calling up Sue and Miss Nikki Taylor to come do this with me, I leaned on them, even though we all was kind of shaking our boots trying to figure this whole thing out. I still felt safe, right? y'all were my safe space. And I
Yeah.
felt like we definitely could, make this thing happen, no matter how many technical difficulties or how crazy things were happening, especially that first live, it still got done, right? But then, like recently, like if we can come on here and I'm okay, but to get on the stage and talk in front of people, oh, I've hated that since the beginning of time.
Oh, but Queen, you do it and do it so well.
Oh
You do it
no.
well. You do it well. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
No, no. I remember I had to get up on stage, and just something as simple as calling people to sit down for dinner. I'm just like, "Ooh, I do not want to do this." I do not want to do this at all. And then more recently, we went to the Leadership and Legacy Conference in Miami,
Hmm.
and they called us up on the stage to receive our promotion certificates, right? Because we hit another level within the company. And I was up there standing next to our amazing, talented COO, Miss Shanae McCambry. And
Yes.
she was talking to me. She was like, I might be calling you up to speak soon. And I was like, "Oh,"
There you go, Queen.
I
Yes,
was like,
honey.
I was like, "Oh," I said, "I hear you. My brain computed, but my spirit said, ooh, ooh."
No, that's just a step
Well,
to get you to greatness. No, I definitely can see it. I can see you up on that stage.
we gonna work on it.
Oops.
We're gonna work on that confidence. So I might be leading it to, our family support system here to the heavy hitters. We need some support, like a good girdle.
Well, Queen, we got you.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. Oh, we got some more comments here. Nita Jones, and we love y'all for it, my inspiration. Oh, Nita, we love you too, Queen. Thank you so much for always showing up for yourself and showing up for other people. You know, if you all didn't catch Nita's Reset Sundays, she does a live every Sunday, 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern Time on Facebook. Well, she's coming to you with some self care tips. Definitely go check her out. This Queen, I'll be taking notes. Sometimes I can't catch the live because still be doing church hours, but I'm definitely catching them replays and taking my notes.
Yes, Queen. Awesome.
Oh,
Look,
and Nita was
Dr.
one of our
Katrina
guest
had to catch a
speakers
flight.
too.
Oh,
What you
yes, she
say,
was.
Steve?
I was reading one of the comments. Dr. Katrina said she was boarding her flight from Hawaii, and she would see us later, Queens.
All right, love you, Queen. Stay safe. We praying for
Yes,
safe
safe
travels for
travels.
you.
But
Yes,
yes,
yes.
Nita was an awesome guest on the show on Tips and Tea. She sure was.
Nita also admitted. Remember we had that live when we were talking about you don't need that big suitcase to travel with, and she was like, you can definitely get away with just traveling with a carry on. But I was like, I'm a girl and I need like 5 pairs of shoes and about 3, 4 purses. Anita admitted she was like, sometimes you do have to have the big suitcase.
Yes, honey. The queens like to accessorize now.
Yes. Do I need 5 pairs of base shoes? No, I do not. But I need my other stuff. My other stuff. Right. Yes, yes. So if we don't have any questions in the chat, I say we just jump right into our promo. See, because we definitely have some very important information to share with our audience with Christmas right around the corner. You want to lead us in and
Yes,
share a
yes,
little bit? Quincy said he want to read the promo.
yes. The people walking by outside. So Quincy, he's doing what attack dogs do. He is on his job. Okay.
Right. Don't play with Quincy. Okay. Do not play.
Yes, but everybody, we definitely want to encourage you all this season to do the No Christmas Card Challenge. It is a challenge that we are doing. Shout out to Queen Destiny Reedy. She created a group, and what we're doing is we are trying to encourage others to not swipe their credit card this season. Only swipe it if you can pay it off in full. Other than that,
Mhm.
we want you to learn how to save, and we want you to be in the best situation for Christmas so you're not putting yourself in debt. So again, we want to encourage everyone to set up their SoFi high yield savings account where you can earn 3.8% interest on your savings. And also, they are giving 1% interest on your checking. So that is something that is awesome. They do have early pay if you do a direct deposit. And also, they do have some other good services that they offer, like investing and things like that. So that's something you definitely want to look into. If you like, you can get in touch with me, Satitra Booker, or Chantella Shabazz. Any one of our Go Getter family or Heavy Hitter family or Nove family can definitely get you set up and get you on that No Christmas Card Challenge and into SoFi.
Absolutely. So make sure you tag your accountability partner if you are definitely interested in avoiding the credit card interest this holiday season and making sure that you're staying out of debt, because we want to go into 2026 debt free, right? We want to go into 2026
Yes.
with a different type of financial strategy. We want to make sure that we can take that interest money that we were paying on these credit cards and now take that surplus and start investing with it, right? And a great way to get yourself used to investing is with a high yield savings account, because it's absolutely paying you more money and it's a safe space for you to hold your funds without risk of losing them, right? So definitely get with one of us and we will help guide you in the right direction. If you don't have an accountability partner, so teacher and I will volunteer as tribute, right? We will be your accountability partners. And we, like she mentioned, thank you to Miss Destiny Reedy again for starting that support group here on Facebook where they're dropping daily tips, right? We're all sharing us, putting money into our high yield savings account and where we're at along our journey, right? Each of us have different savings goals, but we can help you figure out how much you need to put in per week, right? In order to meet your goal by Christmas, right? To do that Christmas shopping. And even other strategies that you can learn along the way. So definitely let us know if you have any questions about it. You can reach out to us directly and we'll definitely help you out.
Yes, ma'am. And as always, before we close, we do have an affirmation for our audience. So affirmation is: I am confident, capable, and covered. No storm, no storm can shake what God has built in me.
Because I know I'm confident. I am
As you should be,
capable.
Queen.
I am
Yes,
definitely strong, and no storm can come up in and shake what God has for me. I'm a summarize and abbreviate, but if you know, you know. Okay,
I know that's right.
and we ain't gotta fake it till we make it, because I know God got it. God got it.
Yes. And I mean, you're all built for the bounce back, okay? So don't ever let anybody make you think that you cannot, okay? That setback was for your setup for your comeback, okay?
Yeah. Say that one more time. I'm sorry. I was on delay and I caught the end of it. I was like, ooh, that hit. Do it one more time. One more time.
That setback was the setup for your comeback,
I
okay?
know that's good. I'm
Yes.
putting that on that's gonna be my post today. If you didn't know, now you know. But we just want to say thank you again to everybody for joining our live. I really appreciate you all showing up for us and showing up for those around you. And shout out again to our heavy hitter family that's in the audience. They drop gems on a daily basis, and I definitely take whatever they say in these chats, and I be making notes for myself. So I feel like if you have anything you ever want to share that you want to be able to help other people with, this is a safe space for you to come into and also be a part of our Tips and Tea Live. So thank you again, everybody. If you're watching this live, please drop a 1 in the chat. If you are watching the replay, please drop a 2. But don't forget to like, comment, and share. And you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at Tips and Tea Live on YouTube. So thanks again, everybody. We love you all.
Love you. Have a blessed Tuesday and a blessed rest of your week. Thank you, guys.
With many blessings.